guy pretty like a girl, and he got 5 stories to tell.
Hello beautiful people. Today we will be discussing the whole Erin Clover situation, but before that I wanna clear some things up because people are a little confused. The artist that runs the account Erin Clover is named Sam. The original character, or what was found out more recently to be a self-insert, is named Erin. As of now the account Erin Clover is private, but according to Sam's Patreon post at 6 AM she has decided to leave Instagram for good. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. The first few things that we will be discussing are the things that Sam was called out for. Number 1. Sam has made NSFW drawings of characters that are underage. She was called out for this in May and put out a bullshit apology where she claimed to age up the characters so in her eyes she had done nothing wrong. Now obviously people were upset and continue to try and have her take responsibility for her actions since she's a grown adult. But instead of taking responsibility, Sam temporarily disabled her account for about 2 months to try and let everything settle down. She had recently come back to the account about 2 days ago and was ignoring all of the people who wanted her to acknowledge what she had done / been doing on her Patreon. Sam kept her account public for about a day before restricting her account to 18+, but when she continued to be called out she privated the account completely. I believe that is also around the time that she put out a bullshit post about having her creative freedom taken away and announced that she would be leaving Instagram. Number 2. She was also caught supporting Yagami Giotto after Yagami had been exposed for grooming a minor. When she was first called out for drawing NSFW of minors, people had also found that she was following Yagami even though she had just been called out for grooming a minor about a week or 2 prior. Of course, Sam was quick to say that she didn't even know she still followed her. And although I'm not surprised that she was even following Yagami, it still says a lot that Sam was supporting Yagami at one point in time. Number 3 and 4. Sam's NSFW drawings on Patreon were mostly of underaged characters who are around 16-17 years old. Now when Sam went on hiatus the first time she ended up removing the NSFW tag from her Patreon posts, in what I could only assume was an attempt to save the little reputation that she did have. But since she has now officially left Instagram she has gone right back to using the NSFW tag on posts that include underage characters. And although she claims to age up characters, which she doesn't own, it's still weird to see that the only thing she tends to change is height / muscle mass in their biceps. I also find it really weird that she only aged up these characters so that she could lewd them. As you can see here in these conversations between Sam and gloomy.luna.arts, the only way that Sam can defend herself is saying that she's aged up the characters in her art. Yet she's unable to prove it through her own art, which is obviously a big red flag, because she swears she's making changes to these characters yet is unable to show or provide evidence of the changes that she's made with her own art. Now if you want to read the conversation in full I will link Bloomy's Instagram below so that you can watch Sam try to avoid what she's done. Now before we get into the 5th and 6th accusation, I will be saying that everything is alleged. I would also like to add a trigger warning for some sad and gross topics such as grooming and the whole Horikoshi love chain movement that Sam endorsed. Now on to number 5, when Sam promoted the hashtag I am with Horikoshi after he had received some criticism from Chinese and Korean fans after he named the character after a Japanese doctor who experimented on Chinese and Korean people after seeing them as less than human. These fans brought this up because as a grown man Horikoshi knew exactly what he was doing and needed to be held accountable. In response to this, Sam and 2 other creators who didn't really understand the situation decided to make posts which misrepresented the situation. These posts also ignored the pot voices that were voicing their discomfort with the character that Horikoshi had created. Sam's post was not only tone deaf but also showed the lack of understanding that she had on the situation, where in her post she states, "We live in an era where a person simply can't do shit without offending someone and that's fucked up. I want to use my power to defend Horikoshi." And in this same post she instructs her followers to make art or edits and post under the hashtags I'm with Horikoshi or support Horikoshi.
I believe that Sam was called out for this post because as a white woman she had no business in trying to tell POC that they shouldn't have been offended by what Horikoshi had done. She also doesn't need to play white savior for Horikoshi. She should have simply sat and learned more about the situation before trying to pretend that people were overreacting. Number 6. Sam allegedly grooming the user Cineral. Now it is said that Sam alleged groomed this user into trusting and defending her after she was first exposed for drawing NSFW of underaged characters. Now as we know, Sam is 26 years old and turns 27 soon, so the fact that she has a minor defending her so passionately is alarming, and shows that Sam could potentially be a dangerous online figure. It's also said that during Sam's interaction with this minor that she allegedly called her pet names such as baby, and allowed the alleged minor to have access to her Patreon where she posted the NSFW art. Now it's not implied that this is sexual grooming, but this may have been more emotional if you look at the posts and the way this 26-year-old woman allegedly interacted with this minor. Now that we have talked about all the things that Sam has allegedly done, let's discuss why her argument of aging up characters to lewd them is wrong and disgusting. Now I am not against aging up a character to portray their adult life, but I do believe you shouldn't age up a character if your only intention is to lewd them. And trying to defend lewding minors by saying well I aged them up has many holes. Because if Sam is okay with aging up teenagers to lewd them, then that means they must be okay with people aging up super young characters like Eri from My Hero or Natsu from Haikyuu. Now if you would hate seeing this happen to these young characters, then you shouldn't be okay with it happening to teenagers. If you are going to lewd characters, make sure that they are 18 and up. Because lewding any underaged character is disgusting and shouldn't just be written off as well they are fictional. Here are my final thoughts on the situation. I believe that Sam is completely in the wrong and should have the internet taken from her. I also believe that anyone who defends or agrees with her is gross and should seek mental help. I think this way because fiction affects reality, and I do believe that lewding young anime characters puts real Asian children who may look similar to these characters in danger. Especially drawing NSFW art of characters in school uniforms is extremely harmful to Asian children. Especially young Asian girls whose uniforms are already super sexualized in media. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Although this isn't my normal content, I just really wanted to speak about this topic and maybe educate some people who didn't know what was going on.